Hey, do you ever wish you were more confident? I think for most of us, the answer is yes. So today I'm going to share with you a game-changing technique. It's made a big difference in my life, and I think it'll make a big difference in yours. It's called habit stacking. It will transform the way you approach your leadership and give you an instant boost of confidence. And the best part, you can start today, and it is easy. Hello and welcome to the Unapologetically Authentic Leadership channel. I'm Brooke Bernard, your transformational leadership coach. This space is all about empowering high-achieving women in leadership roles to be their authentic selves. And if you're new here, my goal is to empower you to reach your full potential by being who you are, not who you're supposed to be. Confidence can be a struggle, and we all battle self-doubt. And we experience moments of feeling inadequate despite our achievements and our accolades and our years of developing our expertise. We can easily fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. And somehow in our minds, when we make that comparison, we are comparing what is an idealized version of that other person, their most perfect self, against, let's be honest, our less than perfect self. And how does that make sense? How is that fair? It is completely irrational, and yet it's an everyday occurrence. We overestimate others and we underestimate ourselves. Here's my story of how I have fallen into the comparison trap. Every time I was interviewing for a position I really wanted, I would always get so nervous. And I would let self-doubt creep in because I would be overestimating my competition, the other candidates in the pool, and I would suddenly be underestimating myself. And even though I was so confident at work, I somehow lost my confidence when I would go into these interviews. And really it was the prep. It was the prep process where I started to feel insecure and doubt myself because I was underestimating myself. And once I was in the actual interview and I was answering questions, that's when I would start to remember and feel it and be like, yeah, I just did that thing last week and this is what I did. But yeah, I'm sure many of you can relate, but it's one of those moments, right, where you're very vulnerable as a candidate. When you're putting yourself out there, it's like so much worse than dating. So if you've watched any of my content before, you know that authenticity is something that I think is so important. And embracing your authenticity is critical to being confident. You are unique. The way that you build relationships, the way that your brain works to solve problems is unique to you. And when you have the courage to be authentic, you will find a renewed sense of self-confidence and self-assuredness that'll make you feel like you can tackle any problem put in front of you. And as we know, diversity of thought and diversity of experience is what makes an organizational culture rich. It stimulates discussion from angles you could not get from a homogenous group. So you don't want everyone to be the same on your team. You want everyone to bring in their own perspective because that brings life to innovation. So let's talk about the power of habit stacking. This technique that I promised I was going to talk to you about. Habit stacking is super simple, super easy. Anyone can do it. It's just a matter of pairing a new habit with a pre-existing habit. And that makes it so easy for you to just flow from one thing to the next. And as humans, we need it to be easy or we're not gonna do it. I wish that was different, but I feel like we probably all know from life experience by now that that's part of it. That's part of whether or not we commit to things and stay consistent, right? And consistency is key. So Let's talk about some non-work examples first to like ease us in. So every morning I start my day with a fruit shake, and it's delicious and super healthy. I recently started adding in two things. First, I added in doing a celery juice before my fruit shake. And for those that are all into healthy things, alkalizing your body, totally great for you before you start your day. And the most recent addition was adding in my salt water or soul water. For years I've been making a fruit shake, so I was already in that habit, and I look forward to it, right? So it's a positive habit that keeps getting reinforced. And then recently we've been doing the celery juice in the morning, and it has been great. Like, I feel like I am doing something very good for myself, so bonus points for self-care first thing in the morning. But putting that right in front of my fruit shake meant that I had an easier time doing it, because now it's just automated. It was an automated process of my morning. And then the other addition of adding in the warm salt water before I do the celery and then my fruit shake, because the first two habits were established, I could add in the third. So I'm sure that you're starting to see how this would work. And I think if you really reflect on your life and your work and how you lead, and perhaps how you interact with your teams and how you manage different administrative processes, you can think about the things that are maybe the most, I'm going to say that differently. Maybe you're thinking about the things that you don't like to do and that you need to do, and trying to figure out how to make yourself do them. Like for me, that'd be like the flossing. It's so important, and yet it is one of those things that has never been a priority for me. So yeah, so I think creating a list of things that at work you avoid, like it's on your task list, it's on your to-do list, but somehow for days in a row, maybe longer, you manage to avoid it by doing all these other things that you tell yourself are so important, and this other thing's not quite as important, so maybe I can just push back a little bit further. Well, I just want you to think about that. Maybe write down that list, like actually write it down. And then figure out what habits you currently have in your work routine that you could attach these things to, that are either just brand new habits you want to do because they're good for you, like the celery juice, or things that maybe you avoid, but if you connected it to something else, then you would do it. And it could even be as something else where you really enjoy doing it, and before you do the thing you enjoy, you stack in the thing that you usually try to avoid. So, okay, work example for me, just to make this like super concrete, right? Don't ask me why. And again, it might be like a generational thing. I hated checking my voicemail for years. When I would see that little red light blinking when I came back from meetings and I only had like 20 minutes before the next meeting and I really just wanted to get some emails done, somehow my brain would just resist listening to the voicemails, writing down the things, calling the person back, right? It just seemed arduous. And really, if you're part of an older generation, you're probably like, what's wrong with you? Like, just that's how people communicate. I was the one that was like thrilled when my voicemail started getting translated into emails by software. Like, thank you. And it shouldn't matter, but it did. So I would avoid it. I would put it off. And I think that the way to get yourself to do something like that you don't want to do, like I said, is to find something that you really enjoy doing. I really enjoyed the supervision part of leadership, and I really look forward to those meetings. And so I would make myself do the voicemail check before I would have the one-on-one meeting. And that was like okay, I need to get this checked off so I can have a clear mind when I'm sitting down to have my meeting with this person that I want to give my full attention to, and it's an opportunity to bond and connect. I knew that pleasure was coming, I knew that enjoyment was coming, so it helped me like have a sense of urgency or motivation to actually check the voicemail. On that task list that you created, make another column and write next to each of those things that you think you want to avoid, rational or irrational, put down the different habits you currently have that are positive habits that reinforce you, and match them in a way that makes sense. I'm guessing there are some key things. Like some people really avoid budget work, and some people really avoid report writing, and some people really avoid certain kinds of trainings. And set yourself up for success. Leave yourself reminders, notes in places that you look all the time. Like maybe it's a sticky note that is on the board next to you, or maybe it is a sticky note that's on your computer monitor, or maybe it's a note on a small tablet that is inside your drawer in your desk. So I think anything you can do to help your brain to cue your brain, because habits are cued. And those can be like good habits or bad habits. Like when we go to the movie theater, a lot of us have been conditioned to want movie theater popcorn. So that's an easy cue. And what that means is also when we sit at home to watch a movie, a lot of us think like, oh, I'm gonna make some popcorn. So movies, popcorn. So I'm really curious, which habit will you stack first? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you're thinking, and I want to know how it goes. So action leads to confidence, and leaders are doers. Leaders achieve their success through action and implementation. It's how we're wired. It's what our roles demand of us. Taking action and being proactive will help you feel confident. And that comes from knowing that you are competent. And we need some reminders sometimes. We need to prove our competency, not to others, but to ourselves, so we can squash that self-doubt. And when the voice creeps in that says, maybe you're not enough, you can push back and be like, we're not going down that road. And then you remind yourself of all the things that you are doing, have done, will do. Basically, you're awesome. You're a rock star, and you don't need to listen to the self-doubt. And you've got the proof in case you're having a hard day and you need some evidence. Evidence that you're competent. And then the permission to feel confident. Consistently taking steps toward your goals will help you to develop self-confidence and self-assurance. And that is why habits are so important, because they are the small steps that we take on a daily basis. Proof that you're accumulating every day to build that rock solid confidence that you want. And this cycle of action leading to success and increased confidence is essential to leadership development and personal growth. And if you're at a point where you are interested in advancing your leadership development and your personal growth, then I highly suggest that you check out the free mini course that I have linked in the description below in all of my videos. It's called 4 Powerful Shifts to Elevate Your Leadership and Feel More You at Work. The truth is that people want to follow leaders who are confident in their own abilities. And these leaders have the ability to inspire and motivate their teams, their peers, everyone around them. Confident leaders will most definitely experience greater success in all of their endeavors. And I would wager that they will have way more fun doing it. So start building your confidence today. It's so easy. It's so easy. Take that list of tasks that you like to avoid and write down all of the things that give you intrinsic motivation, all of those tasks, all of those want to do's. and pair them. And then, just like I integrated mine over time, integrate one new habit, stack one new habit each week until you get to where you want to be. I want you to thrive in your leadership. So set yourself up for success. Boost that confidence and your leadership skills with one simple, very easy technique. Remember, we are our habits, so I invite you to intentionally fill your life with habits that are going to help you become the person that you want to be. Thank you for spending this time with me today and being a part of our community. As you know, your participation and your support mean the world to me. So please subscribe and like the video to help more people see it and help me fulfill my mission of empowering authentic female leaders worldwide. And for those who don't know, I am a coach. And if you would like to learn more about private coaching, please connect with me. And until next time, stay true to yourself, lead with purpose, and thank you for watching.